get started on our heart, our Scandinavian heart ornament. There's not a whole lot of pieces to this. We've got 3 white weavers, 3 blue weavers that are 6 inches, and then we have 2 14-inch pieces, 1 white, 1 blue, and we're just going to go ahead and get those damp. So just gently and lightly get those wet. Pull them out and go ahead and dry them off. You do not need to soak these. We don't want them completely soaked through, or the glue, it's a hard time drying. We really just want them just slightly damp. Dry those off so that they're flexible enough for us to work with them while we're weaving. These pieces we want to fold in half, and there is a right and wrong side to the reed. See, one side is a little smoother than the other. If you can't tell the difference, don't worry about it, but if you can, you want the smooth side to be on the outside. And we're going to go ahead and actually fold, and just gently, so it doesn't crack, crimp the bottom on each piece completely in half on every single piece. So go ahead and do that. Since you wetted, it should be flexible enough. You shouldn't really hear too much cracking. Sometimes you get a little crack, but it's not, you just don't want it to crack in half. The more accurate you are, the better. Okay, once all those pieces are folded in half, we're going to go ahead and start with the first 2. And we start by interlocking both of the long color pieces. So we want to interlock them into a V shape. And then you are actually going to go ahead, put a little bit of glue right there. I like to use Aleene's glue and a toothpick, but you can use an applicator or any craft glue will do. That's, you know, a good strong craft glue. Did I say that correctly? Also like to clean up the joints as I'm going so that they're not a mess. Then go ahead and using your clamps, I like to use these. You can get them at Walmart or Amazon in bulk packs. These are really great for ornament making, but you can also use clothespins that have a little bit of oomph to them. So you can definitely use one of these, but I'm going to use these clips because they're just smaller and easier to work around. You can also use those paper clips that have like the metal clamp clips. You can use those too. So you've created a V at a pretty accurate 90-degree angle. And then we're going to come in and start with the whites on one side and the blues on the other, but we're going to alternate. So if we look at this, you see we've gone a blue over white with the blue in between and then the white on the end. We're going to go opposite, and we're going to do this on the blue side. So blue is on top, now the white's going to be on top. So we're going to slide this in so that the white is on top, and we are about 1/4 of an inch distant between where we put that. And again, a little bit of glue. And we will clamp that. We're going to do the same thing. White was on the top this time. Now this time we're going to come through and put white on the bottom. See, we're alternating and leaving enough space in between and adding just a little bit of glue to keep everything into place. Last one, Since we were underneath that time, now this time we're going to be on top. The more precise you are with your spacing and your weave, the better off your piece will be. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Same thing. We're just going to do, again, take a peek. We had blue on top on that one, so now this blue one is going to go on the underneath. So we're going to go ahead and pull this blue one in underneath. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. We have to know which one we've done next. So I'm going to go ahead and just move these clips back a little bit so that I can see what I've done. Okay, so what this means is this is going to go opposite of what you have going on here. So you'll see this blue one is on top, underneath, on top, underneath, and it's the same on the other side because we're splitting that. So it's not both of these on top or underneath. It's really, we're creating this hairpin, and the hairpin is going in between, but either choosing to go in between up or in between down. And so we've started with the blue on top here, so we're going to put the blue underneath here, and then it's going to go up and go over top in the middle, and then it's going to go in the middle and the bottom, and then it's going to go in the middle on the top. And it should be opposite of what you already have. And when we slide that into place, it's now woven, and it's woven on the same on the back side as well. So it's a double weave. We just pull that in nice and tight and straighten them out as best we can. And then we will also come through here and put a smidge of glue. And we're going to do the same thing with the other two pieces. So again, I'll show you kind of from this angle, because I think this explains it the best. Since the white was on top, this time the blue is going to go on top. So we're always going to the middle, but it's either middle top or middle bottom. And we're going to either go middle top here, right? And then we're going to come down, and then it's going to be middle bottom. And it's going to come up and be middle top, and then come up and be middle bottom. Okay, and that gives us the alternate weave we're looking for the next row. And we'll add a touch of glue. I'm going to come do it on this side because that'll be easier. Last one. Since we were on the top this time, we're going to be on the bottom, middle bottom, swing it up, and then do a middle top, swing it down, do middle bottom, swing it up, middle top. We've got this great double weave pattern. We've made all of our adjustments. It really fits in a square. You don't want one side longer than the other. Again, the more equal that everything is, the better off your whole project will be. Add a little bit of glue. Hold everything in place. And clamp. All right, once we've got that weave done, and you'll see it's the same on both sides, it should be opposite. Shouldn't have anything that looks like it's not woven. Now we're going to come in and create the actual part of the piece, and it does create a little bit of we do have to use our fingers here, so we're going to have to get creative with holding everything, but I will show you how to do that. Just this part here, you're going to trim flush and flush just at the top of this V shape here. Okay, and then we are going to take and we're going to create a little bit of a curve, and we're going to stack it right on top. And we're going to do the same thing with the bottom, and we're going to give it a little twist to lay. So it creates these two wings. And then we're going to do the same thing with the white. So go ahead and put some glue down on this stack here. We want this all glued. So go ahead and stack, put some glue in between each of these. It's going to be a big glue sandwich right here. Nice and neat, but a glue sandwich nonetheless. So stack and stack. And then we're going to add a little bit more glue. Right there. No way getting around glue on your fingers here in this glue sandwich. Then we're going to come down here and stack this one right on top. We're going to come down here and stack this one right on bottom. And we have this stack. Make sure everything's aligned. And then we're going to come in with a clip, and we're going to put a clip on the whole sandwich, and we're going to leave it there just like that. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to do before we let everything dry is we're going to go ahead and give these a trim. And we want to trim these so that the arrow is inside and pointing up towards the wings of the heart. So I'm just going to come in here and eyeball it. Okay. And then we are going to glue those too so that they're not just flopping about. So go ahead and get your glue. And we're going to put a little bit of glue right on the ends. And we're going to clamp those too. And you can just spread the wings of the heart there a little bit, and then go ahead and put the clamps in. Now you're going to let this dry for about an hour. You want to make sure that that glue is really stuck. And then once it dries, then we can go ahead and put the hanger on. But otherwise, this is just about finished. And you can see you've got these lovely like heart wings. And if you see any of these strings, reed is a grass, and so, you know, natural material, you're going to get some strings. Just go ahead and take some scissors or trimmers and go ahead and cut those off. And then, like I said, the neater you were building it, the neater your project will be. So go ahead and clean up any glue that you see coming out of any of the joints, and then go ahead and just let that dry, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, now that the glue is dry, we can come in and remove all of our clips. There we go. And our piece is pretty well built. Let's come in and clean up some of these edges. There's some of these little hairs are still around, and then all we need to do is, this is how I like to do this one. I like to go ahead and take this jute rope, bend in half, and tie a knot at the end. And then we're going to take and loop the jute through this first hole. And then pull on the rope till it's nice and tight right along that middle section of the heart. And there you are. One Scandinavian heart ornament for your tree.